Be prepared for highly offensive language, adult and sexual themes, and nudity.
What a show. We've had sabotage, backstabbing, bitching, stirring, and that's just been Paul Burrell. Do you know what I mean? Well, listen, it's the eve of our first eviction, and in approximately 24 hours, we're going to be breaking up this very happy family. It's all going so well. Well, it won't really. We will be saying bye-bye to a Brit, or will we be saying bye-bye to an American, and that American dream might be ending in a nightmare. One of our star-studded housemates. It's hard to tell who is going to go, but if it is Chloe and Stevie, I'm going to be feeling sorry for their neighbours tomorrow night. Do you know what I mean? Listen, we got tons to talk about, but first, let's meet three people who are definitely no strangers to a bit of old sabotage. He's got more red pieces than Cher, and he'll give you what for. It's actual John McCririck!
Imagine if this programme, UK v US, was based in the United States. No one over there would vote for us. No one. So you are all very important because you set the tone for the nation here on bots. The audience that we get out for the eviction night, they're very important as well. And the voters, remember, we are British.
John, sit down.
It is Great Britain. God save the Queen! God save the Queen!
Every time. Moving on, she's our Angel of the North, but she ain't afraid to go down south, if you know what I mean. It's Charlotte Crosby! I've got to say this, I'm not getting all fangirly, but you look fucking beautiful tonight.
Thank
look
you.
up! You look stunning!
Thank you!
Excuse my language, but we needed to say it. And finally, he's done so much stand-up throughout his life. Tonight, I've decided to give him a seat. It's Terry Alderton! Right, let's get down to business. Once again, there was tension between the alpha females of the house. Do you remember this?
So shut
I
your
will not
boca.
be spoken to like
Zip
that.
it! You fucking freak.
John, why do you think Jenna and Janice are just together?
Well, Janice has so changed since she was warned by Bruv it was her final chance. She has changed. The bitchiness has gone out of her up to point, the spitefulness, the nastiness. And with Jenna, they're both queen of reality. Look at them, tattoos all over them, for goodness sake. But remember, Janice knows she's on her last chance. She's having to calm down. Bruv, next time, kick her out.
It seemed like it was all starting to change between the Americans when they started working as a team, because they were sabotaging the Brit. Shah, do you think Janice and Jenna could potentially be a good team if they were to get on with each other?
I think they've got a love-hate relationship, haven't they? Yeah. But I don't know why. I can't put my finger on it.
Well,
what is the actual reason?
I said this the other week. I'm sure they used to be friends. At one point, yeah, I'm sure. History. I think they must have a bit of previous, Shah.
I think maybe near the end they might be friends.
You reckon?
Yeah.
You reckon they'll get on?
Maybe.
Well, let's talk about Daniel. Shut up. He was really getting into the task. Tel, do you think he liked having the distraction of it all to sort of bring him out and think, oh, I've got something to do now, I'm not just sitting about?
Yeah, well, yeah, it's hard to say, isn't it? Because you don't see it all the time, do you? So there's a good point, you know, being the actor, the brother, maybe the older, younger brother, the one that nobody knows as well as the others. Well, why are you on the show? But I mean, you know, it's oh, come on! Like you haven't thought that. You haven't thought that yourselves. But anyway, yeah, I think, you know, maybe you're right. It needs a distraction, something to do, you know.
Well, talking of distractions, we decided to send in Jenny Bond. She stepped in and she quizzed Tash and James. John, how do you think Natasha was really feeling when Jenny was like, yeah, all apart from one of the Brits said you're a has-been?
Well, she was mortified. It was horrible to say. Well, it was a bruv trick, and I hope she finds out. She'll go around to all of them asking, were you saying that about me? Am I a has-been? I've got a #1 hit coming up. So she was really hurt to be told that and believing it, and she doesn't really realise it's a trick. But Jenny Bond, of course, was absolutely superb.
Yeah. Oh, she was.
She really is.
Jenny was great.
What a real lady. She should be in the royal family herself.
She should.
Jenny Bond, yeah.
She should. Yeah. Jenny for the royal family itself. Let's talk about James quickly, because he was quick to defend himself against, well, all the questions that Jenny was asking, basically, about Farrah. Shah, do you think he gave a good answer? Do you think he was like, yeah, you know...
I think he gave a fair answer, because he could have just been like, nah, not at all, she's an idiot. But he was actually quite nice about it, wasn't he? Like, he was really nice about it, considering she's a bitch to him.
Do you think he might be starting to... You know?
I think there's something there between them. Oh, my God. Am I wrong, though?
Listen, we're going to be talking about it later. Give the girl a chance. She's hungover.
I am.
She's had it every night. Well, listen, we heard Tash and James saying that Janice deserves to win the least. Terry, how do you think that's going to affect Janice? Because she was watching it.
Yeah, Janice isn't silly, though, is she? You know, and I think she's probably numb to the fact, because I think she keeps going in that cupboard, and I think those pills she keeps taking, maybe oh, come on, half the time. You know, when you see her doing her little sort of promo thing, she's all like, hi, I'm awake, and then in there she's just kind of walking around like...
In her defence, though, that is the house. That is not the house.
Fair enough. Maybe that could be the case. Maybe you're covering liability, but... yeah, you know, there was a time there where they were sitting there peeling potatoes and Jenna had turned her back straight away to say, I'm not having a bar of this with you. And then all of a sudden, when she went, look, we're on, and their egos couldn't... Felt it's us. They're talking about us, and it's our things that we do.
Well, it's funny you say that, because talking of egos, obviously, Tash and James made it quite clear that they're big fans of Jenna. So, do you think that's going to give her a bit of a boost?
Yeah, definitely. It'll give Jenna a great big boost to hear that, because Jenna thought that they didn't like them. But, yeah, it's going to...
I think it's going to go to her head.
No.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think it's going to go to her head. No. And she's going to get all both
Oh, the Paul's back. Paul's back. Oh, good. Lovely holiday.
Wonderful.
I was out there as well.
I know you were.
Oh, I'd love
saw the
to
picture.
We'll talk after.
We will.
So go on, Jenna.
Yeah, now, Jenna, she's not short of confidence either. She comes from a world we know about, where you've got to be tough. You've got to be tough. And
who knows about Jenna's world, let me tell you.
I stumbled on it accidentally. But, I mean, Daniel summed it up. These strong women come from the Hollywood world of entitlement.
Yeah.
They're not used to the word no.
Yeah.
And they're absolutely bringing it to the house.
Bang on the button, Paul. I totally agree with you there. There's a lot of stir in the pot tonight and every other night, and I'm not just talking about Janice with the poached eggs. Paul Burrell was putting himself in the middle of absolutely everything. John, do you think Paul was right asking Austin if, you know, oh, you're missing James, you know, and sort of bringing up their bromance? Because it seems that Paul seems to think there might be something more, like...
But let me ask you all this, that Paul Burrow, isn't he an absolute doppelganger for Lord Grantham in Downton?
Yeah, he does look like... He really looks like Hugh Bonneville.
Amazing, just like Lord Downton. So
there is a
he could
similarity
be looking after Lord Downton, he'd be true. I think he's doing a terrific job.
You do?
He really is doing it, trying to bring peace, trying to do his job as he did it in the palace. He's playing on Princess Di and all that sort of thing. But it's not as bad as Scoop, who was praying to Jesus, was talking to him about the nominations. You can't believe it. So, you know...
Surely that's against the rules. Like, you can't talk about nominations for Jesus. Come on.
No, that's what he was doing. It's unbelievable. Jesus has got enough to do to listen to about 7 million other people.
Well, talking of Scoop, he's been trying his hand at some matchmaking tonight. He forced James and Farrah to talk things through in the garden. Terry, we touched on it earlier with Charlotte. She thinks that something might be there. Do you think James has got any type of sort of affection for Farrah?
No. Well, hold on. They're clever with the edit, aren't they? We don't... It's always with the edit. 1 minute you're going, oh, you know, is it a little school thing going on? Punch the girl that you fancy, or... No, the girl punches the boy.
Yeah, don't punch the girl,
school.
no.
Basketball was different.
But he asked Big Brother. Big Brother sat in the diary room. He said,
exactly.
maybe she fancies me.
Yeah. So maybe there's something there, and, you know, maybe he has fancied her all along.
I think he fancies
Farrah said herself, her ideal man's tall, dark and handsome. Obviously, I'm really embarrassed. None of it's natural. So, do you think she might secretly fancy James?
Yes, 100%.
Is that other bit as well?
Oh, come on.
So now you're agreeing?
I'm sorry, no, Farrah fancies James, it's quite clear. She's doing the talking. James doesn't fancy her. She's too up herself. James won't fancy her. Farrah's ego's been broken.
Rylan, let me talk sense here. They fancy each other. That's why they're scrapping. They both fancy each other. They do. Come on. They both fancy each other.
On that note, give him a round of applause, please. Where did we find her? Still to come, John's going to be racing through the housemates and giving us his frank predictions for the final. Plus, Scoop and Sherry will be showing off, or they might be showing up when we pip them against each other in the diary room. But now, listen, this is your bit. This is your bit. Technically 6 are up, but really it's 7 because Chloe and CBBUK. All the housemates are up for evictions tomorrow. There's 6 housemates up. Anything is possible. Who's going to go? You decide. This week, Chris, Daniel, Farrah, Janice, Jenna and Stevie and Chloe Jasmine all face the public vote. Who stays, you decide. From a landline, call 090 20 44 24 and add the number of the housemate you want to save. From a mobile, call 6 44 24 and add the number of the housemate you want to save. For Chris, add 03. For Daniel, add 04. For Farrah, add 05. For Janice, add 08. For Jenna, add 09. For Stevie and Chloe Jasmine, add 13. Calls to the long number will cost 50 pence plus your network access charge. Calls to the short number will cost 50 pence. Or you can vote via the Big Brother app where 2 votes will cost you 99p. Voting closes in Friday's eviction show. If you're watching on catch-up after that or outside the UK, please don't vote. Votes cast after lines close won't count. You can find terms on the Big Brother website. Bit on the side. In just a minute, John McCrimmik is going to be enlightening me with his expert opinions on who's odds-on favourite and who's a bit of a long shot. But first, listen up, everyone, because this is important. Forget the Queen's speech. This is the only royal update you are going to need today because it's time for today's news! First up at 10:26, His Most Gracious Majesty King Bobby of Elstree appeared to have rumbled the US housemates' counter-task from last night.
What they did last night, there was something afoot, and their challenge was to shove their faces in the royal family members' faces, shove their asses in our faces, and rub their asses in our faces, and we did it. So what does it matter?
Did Farrah put anybody's foot on their leg?
No. Yeah, there you go.
With Bobby.
Yeah, she put her foot on my leg and all.
Ah, well, she did with Bobby as well.
You said Farrah put her legs on your lap.
I told you, it's what their task was.
But it's all right, because King Bobby quickly moved on, and he decided to put his footman through his paces when he demanded that Austin get a little bit physical for his amusement. But luckily, you know, Austin being the guy that he is, he bent over backwards to police.
You know what I think I want to see? I want to see my footman do a handstand. That's what I want. A handstand?
Of course, sir.
Thank you,
Would you do that, please, very kindly, sir? Up against
I think
that
what
rock.
may be most entertaining, possibly,
Yes,
than a handstand would be a backflip.
A backflip, sir. Excellent.
Lovely.
Now, don't hurt yourself. Excellent, sir. I still want that handstand up against the post there. Oh, you're too damn good. Excellent stuff. Excellent. That's enough for me.
Pretty impressive. Also this morning at 11:44, Austin and Janice hatched a good old plan to get one over on our royals.
I overheard the royals, and they're going to ask you to stand in one place for a minute. Mm-hmm. That's their task.
Just 1 minute.
Yeah, so bob and weave.
No, what?
Just move around, bob and weave. Just don't do anything that they say, if it's outlandish. Stand there, and if they say, oh, do this,
Well, the horror looks set to continue because Big Brother is stirring it right up with today's afternoon tea task. And earlier, at 12:25, Paul was called to the diary room to get the lowdown on an explosive secret mission.
Paul, shortly you are going to pick 2 members of the palace staff to attend a royal afternoon tea. These 2 chosen members of staff will then pick 4 royals to join them. However, there is more to it than that. During afternoon tea, your chosen palace staff must expose the royals by provoking them so that they lose their temper, therefore displaying a lack of decorum unbecoming of a member of the royal family.
And believe me, it really kicked off. And I mean really kicked off. And finally, at 1:38 today, Stevie calls the royal household's eyes to all water when he went for a dip with his crown jewels on display. But no, please, because please, this is serious, guys. This is serious. Those of a nervous disposition should look away now, as the following clip does contain Stevie Ritchie in a mankini.
God! Oh my God! No, Stephen, no!
Oh, please.
No!
Please.
No!
No, please, please.
No, please.
Oh, my goodness gracious me.
Paul is in shock. We're all in shock.
I have all control over which bathroom is done. With the exception of you
Really?
have to do.
lovely.
Oh, babe, don't worry, I'm covering it up for you.
I can't comment because I
Don't worry.
look nearly as ridiculous as
Oh, it's really cold.
We warned you. And that was today's news. I love it. And listen, there is no... I can't get that out of my head. There's no real way of telling who the odds on are and who the odds are in favour of staying tomorrow night, let alone win the series, unless you've got John McCurrick to hand, which luckily for us, we all have. So backed by popular demand, it's our favourite pundit in...
This time tomorrow night, the race will all be over, they'll be past the post, and who will be evicted? Odds on. Good bet. Not for me.
Yeah. Give it up for John McCurrick, guys. Yeah.
I have to say, Stevie would be better in a mankini than you. Who would...
The funny thing is, though, you know, they say people turn out like their jobs. I'm getting more and more like Big Brother, and you're looking a bit ulcy today. And I'm the one with the teeth. This rich from me. I love him. I love him. Listen, we've got all of the housemates. I'm going to get me little... Is this right? Am I doing this right? Yeah, Johnson? I've got all the housemates here. They're in the Big Brother derby, and he's going to talk us through who he's fancying and not like that, and who he's hoping is going to fall at the first fence. But listen, I can't help but notice, John, you've put all of the Americans at the back.
Well, you have to, don't you? You
Why?
have to. Remember, what is there to like about any of them? You've got Daniel, for instance. What a game player he is. He goes in the diary room and praises Princess Diana, weeps and tears for her, blubbing for her, trying to ingratiate himself with you. You won't fall for Daniel's ruse, will you? Any of you? No, thank you very much.
Well, listen, you sit there and say that, but Gary Busey won the series last year. He became the first American to ever win it.
Yeah. But it wasn't UK v US.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter. He was still a USA
No, this is a
housemate.
national war we're fighting here. We are Great Britain. Remember, it's not Great America.
Right, John,
Great
shut up
Britain.
and listen. If you had to choose one of our Americans that could win it, who do you think it could be?
I think it'd be Scoop.
Scoop?
He talks to Jesus a lot, but when he brought together Farrah and James, that really was well done, wasn't he? He brought them together. He did really well to go and get them. So Scoop's got a lot of depth to him, admittedly, in his stomach as well, but he has a lot of depth to him, Scoop, so I'd like Scoop to go well.
Well, listen, let's talk about the Brits. You think it's odds-on favourite that the Brits going to win it, don't you?
Well, it's 7-2 on the Brits win, 5-2 against the United States. It should be 100-1 United States. No betting the Brits. The Brits will win because you will make sure they do, and so will you. That's the Brits. UK, vote UK.
Do you think... Let's talk about James quickly. He's a good-looking lad, isn't he? Do you think he's going to get quite far in the competition with the girl vote?
Well, I'm going to ask Charlotte whether Charlotte would go out with James. Do you fancy Charlotte? Do you fancy James?
James is a very attractive man.
and he takes his shirt off a lot and
So
he
do you
goes
think
around
he could
in his...
do well?
He could do well. He could do well for us, yeah.
Well, let's talk about Sherry. Look, I can just see Sherry just there, bless her. She's been a bit quiet, and we all love Sherry. We do love Sherry on here. She's been a little bit quiet. Is there any chance you could see her creeping into the final?
Well, loose women have so many harridans, don't they? No. Carol McGiffin.
I love Carol, don't.
The streetwalker, Janet Streetwalker. They're ghastly, Christian. So, the Sherry, she's been overwhelmed by the Americans. She's not been able to come out. She should be the mother of the house. She's nothing. So she's got a chance later on to try and bring herself in.
Well, listen, I can see you've got two here, so we'll come back to them in a minute. But who would you say, at the moment, in your eyes, is sort of coming up the rear in third? Would you say?
Third?
Don't.
Well, I'd like it to be Gail, because you feel so sorry for Gail. You want to smother her with love, the poor girl. And when she's waiting on Janice, her judgment, my goodness, to look after that revolting Janice. What's wrong with Gail?
Well, listen,
but I like Gail.
you say Gail. In second place, in your eyes at the moment, is Natasha. But then you've got first place, Mr. Davro.
Well, it's Mr. Bobby, I call him. Not Mr. Blobby, Mr. Bobby. Everything's going for him. It's for him to lose. Even tonight in the bit that we're going to see tomorrow, he was tremendous. His speech as Prime Minister, the last one, was Churchillian. Give him the Nobel. He deserves the Nobel Peace Prize. If Bobby Davro loses, he loses. Nobody takes it from him. It's up to him. If he carries
it's his game
on,
to lose at the minute.
he is a huge, huge favourite. Deserved to win. And vote for Mr. Blobby. That's what I say.
On that note, give it up for John. Come on, give him a clap. Well, listen, the race is over. It's time to hit that winner's enclosure before the champagne goes flat. All of that Macarena. John, that was lovely. Thank you. Coming up, we're going to be putting Scoop and Sherry under the spotlight with the ultimate UK versus USA quiz. And Anna Williamson's going to be blessing us with a brainy breakdown of how loyal she thinks the housemates have been to their countrymen. Do not miss it. I'll see you after Celebrity Big Brothers bit on the side. Anna Williamson's going to be joining me in a few minutes, but first, just how much do our housemates really know about their opposing countries? You know, we decided that there was only one way to find out: a UK versus USA diary room battle featuring Scoop and Sherry. So let's see who came out on top. You know, what is that noise? Can you hear it? It's you! I'm being sabotaged! I'm being sabotaged! Get it! Get it! Security! Security!
Welcome to the Diary Room Chair.
Thank you.
Let's proceed.
Today you will be answering questions on your specialist subject, the United Kingdom.
Okay.
The United States of America. Who lives at 10 Downing Street?
Oh, the Prime Minister.
Is the following accent normally associated with the Deep South or New York?
By God, I look beautiful.
The Deep South.
What is traditionally done with spotted dick? Is it eaten, sucked, or squeezed?
Spotted dick.
When Americans are describing someone's bangs, what are they talking about?
If it was about sucking dick, you guys wouldn't talk about it on the air, so I'm gonna say spotted dick and squeeze.
Fringe. Do know that.
The correct answer was eaten. Which famous American legend is this dish named after?
Was that bacon? What is it? Bacon and egg?
What is John McCurrick famous for?
John who?
It's bacon and banana.
He's probably a handsome guy with a beard. He's probably looking like a fatter version of James.
Is it Michael Jackson?
Sounds like he plays rugby or something.
The correct answer was Elvis.
Really?
The correct answer was horse racing pundit.
McCorrick, sorry, man. I didn't know anything about that. I'm sorry, sir.
What is found inside a Twinkie? Pork, chocolate, or cream?
Come on.
The Loch Ness Monster allegedly lives in which country?
Scotland.
Pork?
The correct answer was cream.
Sounded like a sausage of Twinkies.
When British people are talking about nappies, what are they talking about?
Damn!
Which famous all-American princess had a shock wedding in the Little White Chapel in Las Vegas in 2004?
Bobby Davro was saying something about this.
All-American princess.
I'ma say sleep.
Would it be somebody like Madonna?
What is it?
The correct answer was diapers.
Oh, that's right. He said nappies.
The correct answer was Britney Spears.
Yeah, because he said politicians are like nappies. They need to be changed all the time because they're all full of shit.
The Statue of Liberty was originally a gift to America from which country? What do British people call the season fall?
Autumn.
Was it a gift from us, Great Britain?
Can you guys move as quick as possible because I can't even breathe in this damn shirt.
The correct answer was France.
I kind of remember that now.
You have answered 2 questions correctly.
Like an idiot.
Scoop, you have answered 3 questions correctly.
Well, there you go. Okay, is Big Brother gonna give us anything for this quiz?
What do you think? You're now free to return to the house.
Can't even negotiate with these people.
I love the fact that we've just found out that John McCurrick is a handsome, fatter version of James. It's great. Now, listen, we have witnessed the world of tantrums and fights in the house, and it's only been 1 week. But could there be an actual war brewing? There's only one person that knows the answer because it's time for... Let's talk about this theme. UK versus USA. You must have pissed your panties.
Oh, do you know what? It is going off, and it is about time we had this theme proper. It's absolutely brilliant. The UK do not know what has hit them, and it's watching both of the sides. It is like these cliches of these stereotypes just playing out, isn't it? The British stiff upper lip, let's just be quiet, and the American cliches of just, you know, if we've got a problem, we're just going to shout as loud as we possibly can, louder the better. It's hilarious, and I'm loving it.
Let's talk about this royal family task. How do you think that's affected them in there? Because it's really ruffled some feathers, hasn't it?
This royal family task is absolutely brilliant, and what I'm loving as well is you're seeing a little bit of that passiveness, that sort of passive-aggressive coming through from Team Brits.
Yeah.
They are loving being the top dogs at this, and they are enjoying... You could see that a little bit with Chris Ellison, you know, he was quite happy nominating people to go to the Tower, whereas we saw, arguably, of course, day one, you're going to be a bit more kind of...
Like,
you know,
who should be left out the party?
Now it was just like, bang, up there, that's showbiz, you know, that's the business. And
well, it is.
It is, and I think the Brits are now really, really starting to quietly take back that authority, and they're really working a bit of a pack mentality, and it really seems to be working, and the Americans are falling apart.
Well, the task has really sort of kicked things off in there. We sent Paul Burrell in, didn't we? Let's have a little look at his impact on the house.
I've done these things for an awful long time. For these two bitches to be sitting there and telling me, you know, what to do, and that I'm a fucking bitch and a fucking idiot.
I'd like you to come out and have something to eat, because you must be starving. Come and have something to eat.
You know what? I'd just rather avoid her for the time being. I'm sorry.
Well, you need something to eat.
Unless you do the right thing and you have a fucking talk with her.
If she has a problem with you, Jenna, she should have it out with you.
Well, there you go. That's him in there. What impact do you think he has had on that house?
Genuinely?
Who's he being?
Paul Burrell is being ineffectual, in my opinion. He's really, for someone that's supposed to be a butler, you know, and in control of a team. Oh, well, you need to talk to he's so namby-pamby, isn't he? Oh, it's like, do you know what? For someone that supposedly ran a royal household, he is not laying the smack down at all. He is petrified of those American girls. He cannot cope with them, and I'm absolutely surprised in how there is no grit behind him, there's no authority behind him. I think he is literally just trying to sit on the fence as much as possible because there's nothing really else behind him that's getting on board with everybody else. He's too frightened.
Well, let's talk about nominations then, because I don't know if you know, but I made a little observation.
Oh, go on.
No Brits nominated any Brits, but Americans nominated fellow Americans.
It's a very wise observation,
well,
Ryland.
I'm a very wise man.
Very wise man.
What did you make of that?
The Americans, it's each man for himself. I mean, there is no loyalty, there is no allegiance to each other at all. Like I say again, the Brits seem to be coming at it from the underdogs almost. It is that pack mentality. They're not annoying each other. You know, they are working together as a team, and I think it's because they've sort of had no choice but but to do that. They're sticking together, they're forming pretty close bonds between all of them, but yet the Americans are just absolutely laying into each other, hell for leather. They have incredibly bad communication skills. There is no listening going on between them. There is no friendship or any attempt at it. And you're seeing the slightly more passive Americans coming over to Team Brit. And they're leaving the rest of the girls just to fend for themselves.
I think that's a really bang-on point observation. Let me just quickly bring up Daniel, because he had quite an interesting conversation with Chloe Jasmine about being friends with Janice. Let's have a little look at it.
It's a dangerous allegiance you have on the show. You're a very nice woman.
Oh.
And it's a dangerous allegiance.
Sure. The reality and the sensitivity, and I can tell she's a very nurturing person. I feel a lot of love for that woman.
Good for you. I think she needs a lot.
Love.
I think she needs a lot.
Yeah.
She does. I think she needs that in her life.
Now, my favourite thing about that clip was Janice is walking around like a high-fashion gnome, isn't she? She's like, what?
She's like in a Hunter Wellies, a bit of the
love
Brit,
it. I love it. Now, he actually used the term dangerous allegiance. What are you making of that terminology?
I think the snake is coming out the grass and he's ready to play. He was very open about it when he first went in, that he's got a long game plan. Daniel is now, I think, picking on the weaker personalities of the group, and he's manipulating the way that they are and trying to pick them off, so it leaves Janice segregated and isolated from other people. He's starting to work out what the balance. He knows that she has a game plan too. Janice, she's the queen of reality TV.
She's not silly, is she?
No, he knows that Chloe in particular is very gullible. She's very impressionable, so he's working on the impressionable ones first to try and spread it like a wildfire through the rest of the group.
Well, let me quickly ask you about sort of bridging that sort of national allegiance. Let's talk about James and Austin, because they are, you know, there's a USA, we've got a UK. They're really, really here. Let's have a little look at them.
I love scheming and conniving, and not in real life, but in this situation and in this house, let's crack on. I have to pretend to do this, and I have to pretend to look at James' ass, and I have to pretend that I'm, you know, turned on by him and this whole thing, and it's all an act.
So look,
Says it all.
Yeah, it does say it all. What are you making of these two?
Oh, do you know what? Austin and James, it is a really good friendship, and I think it really is just a friendship. There's... You know, yeah, let's be honest. Of course, James is a good-looking guy. Austin's a gay man. He's married, of course. But you know what? You can window shop, can't you? He appreciates that he's a nice-looking guy.
I'm not allowed to, and I would never condone that behaviour.
And neither would I. We're both getting married, so
Yes,
no, we will behave ourselves. It's just a really good friendship. I don't think anyone has anything to worry about in the outside world, and I don't think anyone should try and make more of it inside the house than it is. They're two like attracts like.
And they've got a load in common.
So much in common, and I think of any of the housemates, these two will have a friendship on the outside as well.
I've got to be really quick because I'm running out of time.
Go on.
I've got to talk about Farrah and Jenna.
Oh, my giddy
I thought they were going to clash, but now they seem to have created their own little group of, like, you know, them two against the world. What are you making of them?
You say you thought they were going to clash, keep your friends close, your enemies closer.
Oh!
Mark my words, there is no love lost between these two. Their body language stinks. As someone that can actually analyse that as well, these two are watching out for each other. Their only other threat is Janice. She is loved by the British public. She already has a bit of a reputation here as well. She's a love or hate, but we do essentially, I think, quite like her, right? Yeah, you know, even though she's a nightmare. But those two girls, they are each other's worst threats. They're keeping each other close, and do you know what? They need to be careful because they're going to be each other's downfall.
On that note, give it up for Anna! Just have more time. Put the world to rights. After the break, I'm going to be chatting to our panel and giving the super fans and some family members of our nominees the chance to pitch for their lives and tell us why their favourites should be staying in that house. But now, you know the drill. Who goes? You decide! You decide. This week, Chris, Daniel, Farrah, Janice, Jenna and Stevie and Chloe Jasmine all face the public vote. Who stays? You decide. From a landline, call 090 20 44 24 and add the number of the housemate you want to save. From a mobile, call 6 44 24 and add the number of the housemate you want to save. For Chris, add 03. For Daniel, add 04. For Farah, add 05. For Janice, add 08. For Jenna, add 09. For Stevie and Chloe Jasmine, add 13. Calls to the long number will cost 50 pence plus your network access charge. Calls to the short number will cost 50 pence. Or you can vote via the Big Brother app, where 2 votes will cost you 99p. Voting closes in Friday's eviction show. If you're watching on catch-up after that or outside the UK, please don't vote. Votes cast after lines close won't count. You can find terms on the Big Brother website. Hi, and welcome back to Celebrity Big Brother's Bit on the Side, the conditioner to the main show shampoo, because we're worth it too. It's exclusive.
Scoop is avoided my gaze.
Yeah.
He's been a turncoat. Farrah's a cunt. Jenna's a cunt. The cunts. That Baldwin is a cunt. Oh, they're all fucking cunts.
And there's what Janice thinks. Anyway, they've had a full week of getting to know each other in there, and that's clearly Janice's fault. But they have been engrossed in royal tasks. There is no escaping tomorrow night that either Daniel, Janice, Farah, Jenna, Chris or Chloe will be the first to be evicted from the Celebrity Big Brother house. But I want to know who our panel thinks should go, and I want to know you lot at home who you want to save. So to give each housemate a fighting chance, there's a fly, a fighting chance of survival, we've got someone on the phone for each nominee, whether it's a friend, family member or even a superfan. They're going to get the chance to tell us why their housemate should stay. We have got 1 minute to talk about each housemate. When the time's up, we'll hear this sound. And we are going to move on. So first on the line and representing Farah, it's superfan Marcus. Hi Marcus, you there?
Hello, Ryland, love, you all right?
I'm good, babe. Ready? Let's start the clock. So, Marcus, why should Farah remain in the house?
She's plastic fantastic. She's manic, and I'm now fanatic about her. She's bold, brassy, bitchy, sassy and vivacious. She's everything I want a CB housemate to be. She's got me more hooked and addicted than my ritual morning coffee. The attitude, the drama, and the ever so poor. Keep her in for more TV goldness. And I love Janice. Get Chris out.
So you think Chris should go home?
Yeah.
Why do you think Chris should go?
Just because he's doing nothing. Like we said last time, we want a bit of like, hello mate, like you're neat. I've got nothing. He's just sitting there with his glass of red in the corner. Bug off.
Terry, what do you think? Do you think Farah should stay?
Well, yeah, because I'm coming for you.
All right, and believe me, Terry, he will.
He's under the table.
Oh, we're out of time. Thanks, Marcus. Next on the line and representing Jenna, it's her actual fiancé, Lior. Hi, Lior, you there? Lior? We're going to try and come back to Lior in a second. Let's roll down. Let's see who we're going to speak to next. I believe we're going to go to Daniel's superfan. That's actually Rob. Rob, are you on the line?
I am indeed,
Hi,
Ryland.
Rob. Thanks for phoning in. Rob, we're going to start that clock. Rob, why do you think Daniel should remain in the house?
He's the only decent American in there. The other Americans are like a pair of second-hand underpants. Don't matter which way you turn them, which way you wear them, they're all full of crap. The bottom line is, Daniel is sitting back, he's listening, he's watching, he's being very, very shrewd. He's already admitted to playing the long game, and he's a legend. He's starred alongside Kurt Russell, he starred alongside Robert De Niro. Backdraft, what a movie.
Rob, who Backdraft was a good film. Rob, who do you think should go?
Do you know what? Get rid of Janice.
You think Janice should go?
I think if you put her in front of an open fire, she'll melt away.
Rob, let's bring it to the panel. Charlotte, do you think Daniel should stay?
I can take or leave Daniel.
You take or leave him?
Yeah, I'm not really bothered. He can stay.
John?
Biggest game player in the house.
Shut up. Rob, thanks for calling in. Cheers, mate. Next on the line and representing Stevie and Chloe, it's Stevie's actual sister, Sarah. Sarah, you on the line?
Yes, I'm here.
Hi, babe. Right, let's start the clock. Sarah, why should your brother and Chloe remain in there?
Because the public have only just seen them just being lovey-dovey in the house. They haven't actually... if the camera focused on them as individuals, they would see their characters And I think keeping them in, we'll see a total change from both of them. Definitely
Sarah,
fun factor.
Sarah, do you think we are going to start seeing them as individuals? Because they are, like, literally, they're together 24/7. Are we going to get that chance, do you think, to see them as individuals in there?
Yeah, no, I do. I think they're up their game now, personally.
You think they'll up it?
Yeah.
Who do you think should go instead?
Who do I think should go instead?
Yeah.
Farrah.
You think Farrah should go? Well, Sarah thinks Farrah should go. What do you think, Sal?
Well, I'd like to see Stevie on his own in there, because I know Stevie on his...
Time's up. Sorry, we've got to be fair, otherwise they get on the phone. Cheers, Sarah. Next on the line and representing Janice, it's superfan John. John, you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Hello, mate. Right, start the clock. John, why should Janice remain in the house?
Well, I think with her quirky little ways, I think she's got like a nice little sarcasm going on, and the other housemates haven't quite clocked onto this now. How she sat there while Farrah was getting so agitated about the pots, and it was just that qualmy little face. Just keep her in for that.
You think she should stay?
Pardon?
You think she should stay then?
Absolutely. She's going to wind them up like that. Keep going.
John, who do you think should go home?
Oh, get Farrah out.
You think get Farrah out?
Get her out.
Terry, let's come back to you. Janice.
The thing about Janice is when you really find out the truth of her is when she's in the diary room. So she plays the game, and then when she's in the diary room, you go, hold on, you are playing a real game here, aren't you?
She loves it.
Yeah, of course she does. Of course
Janice has got 10 faces, and you don't know which one you got. 10
Sorry,
faces.
we've run out of time. John, thanks for ringing in. Next on the line and representing Chris, it's his actual wife, Anita. Hi, Anita.
Hello.
Hello, darling. OK, let's start the clock. Anita, why should your hubby remain in that house?
Why shouldn't he? Do you know what? He is a hilarious man.
Oh,
absolutely hilarious. We've been married 35 years and he makes me laugh every day.
Oh, that's really lovely to hear. That's really lovely to hear.
And there's a lot to come from him.
Anita, who do you think should go home instead of him?
Well, it's tricky because I think Chloe should. She's driving me insane.
But the thing is, if Chloe
girl.
goes, Anita, that means Stevie has to go as well, because they're one housemate.
It's tricky. I love Stevie and I love her. She's got a great voice. I loved her on the X Factor. But she's being really silly in there.
Charlotte, what are you making of Chris?
She's wasting our time, and Chris could be out there. He's not showing his best. He could be...
It's true.
Anita, we're going to start seeing more from Chris, because he's been really quiet this week. Anita, I've got to go, babe. I'm so sorry. In the interest of fairness, I'll get her to go out. Listen, we've got to move on to our housemate who comes with parental guidance, Jenna. Unfortunately, Dior's not on the line. We've lost him on the line, so I'm going to come to you guys. Why should Jenna stay?
Jenna is causing drama in that house. Her head's going to implode with all the positive vibes she's getting from Natasha and James. Everything's going to implode with her. Her ego's growing. She's going to get more bossy, and arguments are just going to flourish. And that's what we want to see as audience members.
You want to see her stay?
We want to see her stay. Keep her.
Who do we think should go home instead of Jenna?
Chris should go because all the entertaining, whereas he seems to take a back step. He's not doing anything, whereas the others are very, very good, and they're going against each other, which is fantastic.
Have we got any other Jenna fans? Jenna fans?
Jenna.
I think with Jenna, she's loving the attention which she's getting from other people. She rolls them up and she just loves the backlash which she gets.
Got to be fair. Listen, you guys have been tweeting like mad since noms were announced. I think we've got some tweets.
Yes, we have. Rachel Boardman has tweeted... Oh, have I got that name wrong?
That's all right, cool.
All right. I'm all for respecting your elders, but only if they show it to you. Hashtag Janice Dickinson needs to realise she isn't above everyone. Hashtag CB.
What else you got?
Right, Eamon Holmes, love him.
Amen. Go on.
Ready? At least hashtag CBB Farrah is an obviously dislikable and bitter half-wit. Hashtag CBB Jenna talks tough but never lives up to it. More faces than Big Ben.
Oh! Well, listen, very, very quickly. Hang on, John, I'm running out of time. Who's out tomorrow? Terry?
I think Stevie's going to go.
You think Stevie, Chloe?
I think Chris.
You think Chris?
Eamon Holmes sunk Farrah.
I'm out of time on stage! He's not even sad. Listen, that's all we've got time for tonight. And as I take you to my guest, switch over to 5-Star now for a bit of live action from the house. And make sure you tune in tomorrow night, Channel 5 at 9 o'clock for the main show, and we'll be followed in at 10:30. Caprice is here, Paul Ross and Mark from the Case. For peace.